In India, they understood that your thoughts shape your reality. You could be in a place and be totally miserable, or you could be like in a prison or under very tough circumstances and be in complete bliss. It all depends where your mind is at, where your thoughts are at. In the West, we treat our thoughts like they don't matter. We fill our minds with junk. Like nowadays, we scroll endlessly. In my days, we just watch TV, and the TV shows were sort of junky and sort of wonderful, sort of junky. But then we were filled with all these commercials.
Yeah.
Like my head is filled with commercials from
I've
the
noted
70s.
that. I've taken note of that.
Jingles, songs from the 70s.
Yeah.
And we wonder why we're anxious and depressed is
Right.
because there's so much junk food in the mind. That's why we have to have these things like, what do they call them? Digital detox weekend.
Right.
That was our whole life. It was a digital detox. Our whole life was a digital detox. We don't have to pay to go away and do that. In Bhakti Yoga, we are about this. It's about training the mind so that it's focused on quality content, right? We're content developers, right? Quality content. You direct your thoughts. You nourish them with repetition and emotion, just like the quote says, right?
Right.
And that becomes your life. Does become your thoughts, right? That's why Smarana, right? We have this word Smarana. That's your Sanskrit. What do we call that in the old days? Sanskrit glossary goodie. Smarana means to remember. Smarana, remembering Krishna's pastimes, is such a big deal. That's what we meditate on, right? That's what we become. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. It's what Earl Nightingale says.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha. Welcome to the show. It's August 25th, 2025. It's episode 1660. Happy Monday, Kaustubha. We're back.
We're back.
We did it after, like, it seems like a year. This whole new program of doing it 3/4 days a week.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time to do other things.
It really is.
Well, not me. I didn't do anything. It's all you. Just tell me.
No, I was just going to say, it was like, I felt like it took me a few days just to unwind. I realized I was on a 5.5-year nonstop marathon there.
I know. And you know what we did? Our first day off, I went to New York City, picked up my mom.
We actually did the show that day, though. That was...
we did the show that day. I drove to New York City. I picked up my mom and my son, and we went to Kaustubha's house for lunch. We posted some of those photos.
And you did it.
We did it. We did it. It was great.
It was
It was,
nice.
you know what? I'm going to do that a lot. The only problem was,
Hold it. I don't know. Slow down there, guy.
my mother.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put this out there. My mother, and she's very insightful.
Yeah.
She loves Kaustubha.
No.
She just goes, that man is wonderful.
Oh.
She said, that man is wonderful. I've never seen a house that clean. All the food was laid out perfectly. Where do you find a man like that? That's what she said.
Exact words.
I said, you can't. He's one of a kind. You really can't. But let me share some of his bad qualities. No. No, you know what? I've had Kaustubha appreciation moments lately.
Thank you, Raghunath. Thank you.
I have.
You wrote me a very nice message that evening.
Oh, yeah, I did. I wrote you a special, like, sort of a love message.
A little love message.
You know, one of those,
I
like, when you
reciprocated.
reveal your heart to someone?
Yeah.
I find it. It was just like, I love you,
Oh.
and you love me. We're meant
We
to
love
be
each
together.
other.
We're meant to be. No, it was just a great appreciation for him and who he is and
I
all
like
that he
your mother,
does in this
too.
world.
She was really nice. And you saw I sat her down in the end, right? You heard what I said to her? This was old school, Raghunath.
No, what'd you say?
You were in the
Well,
bathroom.
I was in the bathroom, and you're like, listen here.
No,
What did you?
I said, Raghunath lives way upstate. Like he's a couple hours away, 2.5 hours away. So, but if you ever need anything,
Yes, I
you,
heard
you
that.
fall down, if something breaks, I'm right here. You give me a call, I'm coming right downtown.
Yeah,
Right? That's old school there,
that was
right?
very sweet. That was she
I
appreciated
meant it.
that.
I meant it.
She appreciated that. And then she was anyway.
Got her in the car.
We got her in the car and went upstate, and we had a retreat this weekend with Ramit Pundit and Carla Kromag from
That's
Jai
great.
Yoga. And
That's a great. Those two, just fantastic.
they're solid.
Fantastic people.
And all their people were solid, and it was just a fun night. And my mom was coming to Kirtan every night, and she was sitting in her wheelchair and just moving her arms up and down. It was so adorable. I think this is good at this time of her life is to have as much. So we're going to bring her up for the Wisdom of the Sages retreat too. It's not that difficult to have her here. She doesn't do much. She reads, does crossword puzzles. Mara makes her food. It might be more difficult for you, but maybe not. She doesn't
She's
demand
pretty,
much.
yeah, she's quite.
She doesn't complain. Every
Lovely.
morning she's quite delirious, though.
She wakes up a little
A
confused.
little delirious and confused.
And you put it back together. Like, where am I? What am I doing here?
Yes, yes. Like, what are you doing?
Who is
Like,
that dog?
No, but then she has like fascinating like dreams. Like something happened last night. I got dressed and then I left the house and I came back. I was like, no, you didn't. You did not do that. Stuff like that.
All right. Anyway, that was nice. I was happy to have you guys over.
Yeah.
And how much did you spend on parking?
$51.
$51.
51. You know what? If we get in and out of your house, we could do it for cheaper.
But you know what?
We
If you would
lounged
have
a little.
taken the family out to eat, you would have spent more.
For sure.
The meal was for free.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
$51.
You know what? $51. Isn't it ridiculous?
God.
I know. Anyway, welcome everybody. It's good to be back. And yeah. It feels weird to say Wisdom of the Sages, a spiritual podcast instead of a daily yoga podcast, a spiritual podcast. Spiritual. When you just say it's a spiritual podcast, people are immediately like roll their eyes, their eyebrows. Anyway, announcements, Miss Mara.
Yeah, join us here at Super Soul Farm for the Wisdom of the Sages fall retreat.
Featuring me, Mara Kaustubha, and Grandma Terry.
It'll be the last one of the year, October 10th through 13th, and people can register on the Wisdom of the Sages website.
Okay. I got an announcement too.
Great.
I think I was mentioning this on the show already, but it kind of got a little more crystallized over the weekend.
Do tell.
So I'm going to do this Bhagavad Gita study thing, and everybody's invited to join. And what I'll do is this. This is going to be a non-stop thing to keep Gita alive in your life. Okay?
Non-stop.
Non-stop. But it'll be divided by months. There'll be monthly challenges or monthly journeys like this. Okay.
Ooh, I like this.
Yeah. Okay.
With Americans, you always got to make it like, a challenge,
30-day
challenge, annual challenge.
So that's what this is going to be. Like the first, it's called the Gita Collective, and you join the WhatsApp group, and there you get like the monthly study plans. So like the first month of September, the Bhagavad Gita is divided into 30 sections. It's 10 or 15 minutes of reading a day. And by the 30 days, you've read the entire Bhagavad Gita. Okay?
All right. That's great.
And then like the next month, we might like do something else, like the first 6 chapters, or go deep into one chapter, and we'll bounce back and forth. And this way, do these monthly initiatives. And on that WhatsApp group, you can send in questions, and I'll share like maybe like daily bubbles. You know how they have those bubble messages on WhatsApp?
Yeah, I still haven't figured out how to use them, but you'll share a daily bubble.
Slide it in a certain way. It's like
Okay, a WhatsApp bubble.
So that'll be saying like, okay, today's reading, the shift in the Bhagavad Gita, I'll put it in context or make connections or share little things to help make the connections on that. So I'm going to share that right now on the message board, and we'll share it in the details, the write-ups. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcast or YouTube or whatever, you can go into the description and find the link there. Then you can join the Gita Collective WhatsApp group, and we'll be ready to start on September 1st.
Beautiful.
All right.
Kaustubha, see? Give you a little bit,
little more space.
a little bit more space, frees up to so many other things.
That's what I don't think it's just like an excuse when we say there's actually going to be more going on now that we're doing less of the podcasts. For those people that are ready to go deeper, we're going to be able to provide more.
Yes.
Yes.
Up there's
yes.
Grandma Terry, see? Or walk
Okay, here we go.
Cover.
Ready for the nugget?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, who's the nugget from?
This comes from Earl Nightingale.
Yeah,
Earl Nightingale.
Raghunath goes back with Earl Nightingale, right?
Well, yeah, because I was always a self-help type of a guy. And Earl, I mean, he was a radio announcer, but he was also, he did these things called Nightingale Conant, like cassette tape lecture series. And back in the day when there was cassette players, there was a store in Los Angeles you could rent audiobooks before there were audiobooks, where you would rent boxes of cassettes. So I'd always get Earl Nightingale. Oh, he was like into self-improvement.
How old were you at this time?
Well, this was sort of like, I was 30 maybe.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like when you were a kid or something like that.
Well, I was into self-help stuff when I was 19 too.
Okay.
I got a lot of inspiration for my lyrics from then.
From Earl Nightingale?
I don't know about Earl Nightingale, but his universe.
Okay.
It was like he was one of the self-development guys. But anyway, my point is, interesting guy. He must have been tied in with Eastern thoughts, or a lot of these Eastern thought people were theosophical people, or they were anthroposophy people, or
anthroposophy.
That's from Steiner. You ever read books by Steiner? This guy was whoosh. But all those people were tied in with Eastern thought. Steiner, Madame Blavatsky. They're all tied in with Eastern thought. But anyway, he had this idea of something like you become what you think about. Your thoughts are things.
That's where we're going with today.
Okay, let's see this nugget here.
Hold on just a second. Earl Nightingale, he had connections to classic Stoicism, Christian ethics, Eastern teachings. They resonate closely, but they're not tying it in tight. Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. So Earl Nightingale writes, whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality.
I.e. mantra. Right?
Yeah.
Nourish with repetition and emotion / devotion.
Yeah.
Like in the West, especially when you grow up in America, may I speak first?
Please do.
I say when we grew up in America, if you were caught daydreaming too much, someone would eventually say, hey, get your head out of the clouds, right? Like your imagination was your problem, was your deficit, was your weakness, right? But in yoga culture, it's the opposite. What's going on inside your head is everything.
It's more important than what you're doing outside in one sense.
Much more. In India, they understood that your thoughts shape your reality. You could be in a place and be totally miserable, or you could be like in a prison or under very tough circumstances and be in complete bliss. It all depends where your mind is at, where your thoughts are at. In the West, we treat our thoughts like they don't matter. We fill our minds with junk. Like nowadays, we scroll endlessly. In my days, we just watch TV, and the TV shows were sort of junky and sort of wonderful, sort of junky. But then we were filled with all these commercials. Yeah. Like my head is filled with commercials from the 70s. I've noted
that. I've taken note of that.
Jingles, songs from the 70s.
Yeah.
And we wonder why we're anxious and depressed is because there's so much junk food in the mind. That's why we have to have these things like, what do they call them? Digital detox weekend.
Right.
That was our whole life. It was a digital detox. Our whole life was a digital detox. We don't have to pay to go away and do that. In Bhakti Yoga, we are about this. It's about training the mind so that it's focused on quality content, right? We're content developers, right? Quality content. You direct your thoughts. You nourish them with repetition and emotion, just like the quote says, right?
Right.
And that becomes your life. Those become your thoughts, right? That's why Smaranam, right? We have this word smaranam. That's your Sanskrit. What do we call that in the old days?
Goody nugget.
Sanskrit glossary goody. Smaranam means to remember. Smaranam, remembering Krishna's pastimes, is such a big deal. That's what we meditate on, right? That's what we become. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. It's what Earl Nightingale says.
Well, there you go.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
think
I'm with
about that.
Earl here, and it's almost when, I did a quick search and I didn't find any connection with him in Eastern, any direct connections, although certainly they may have been there. We don't know what he was reading, right? You with me, Raghu?
Yeah.
You're scrolling right now.
All those
You're-
people, I think a lot of people in the 40s and what?
Yeah, go ahead, 40s.
I think they were all connected with
There's an
Eastern.
underground scene.
There was an underground scene of Eastern thought. It was like in vogue with higher echelons, with the wealthy and stuff like that.
Right. But when he says that you nourish the subconscious mind with repetition and emotion, and then it becomes a reality. It's almost like he's speaking not only from like Vedanta, but almost like Gaudiya Vedanta, like almost like this is really
We're gonna
right.
take- We're going to take full credit for this man.
I'm just saying that this is our process that we meditate, like Smarana. The word Smarana literally means to remember, but it has a deeper connotation too. Like it can have a deeper connotation where it's like to meditate, right? Because what is meditation is you're calling something into your mind and you're consciously trying to hold it in your mind. I like the way that you said it. Like in the West, we teach our thought, we understand our thoughts, or we think of our thoughts, we categorize our thoughts almost as if they're unimportant. What's important is what's going on in the concrete outside world. And in the East, the idea was where your thoughts are is everything. Like that'll determine what's going on externally, if you can get your thoughts situated right. And so yoga was all about sometimes engaging external things in order to make an internal adjustment and to be able to hold your thoughts, hold the thoughts that you want to hold in your mind, ultimately, like permanently, like that your mind could be situated with the kind of thoughts that you want all the time. And that's done by repetition, right? It's trained through repetition, and it's nourished also with emotion. And so the focus of Smarana in Krishna Bhakti is Krishna's pastimes. We're in the 10th canto now, right? It's all Krishna's pastimes. But it's there like in the Bhagavad Gita too, right? Like Krishna is saying, what is it? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavan.
Smaram bhavam tyajanti anti kalevaram.
Whatever you remember at the time of death, that's going to determine your next, where your thoughts are at will determine your reality. That'll determine your next birth. And Smarana is given in the Bhagavad Gita as like the path out of the material world into the spiritual realm. It's done by what you meditate on, what you concentrate on. But it's different types of yogis are trying to meditate in different ways, but there's two huge advantages to meditating on Krishna's pastimes. One is, the obvious one is in our theology, is that it's the ultimate. There's nothing beyond it. You derive the deepest yogic bliss by being absorbed in Krishna's pastimes. But beyond that, they're easy to meditate on because they're so beautiful. They're full of beautiful meaning and beautiful imagery. You do your little puja every day, Raghu, right? And you chant prayers, and they bring your mind somewhere, right? You hold, and you do it repeatedly every day, every morning you do it, and you invest emotion in it, and it creates samskaras, right? Memories. You begin to fill up, how they had, when we were kids, they had those pencils that they were like plastic, and they had the tips, and they had all those tips on the inside, and when one tip wore down, you take that old tip and you put it back in the other end and push the new one
I
through.
remember that. Getting all nostalgic. Come on.
Okay, so the idea is you're pushing something out and pushing something.
Birthing something new.
Yeah, you push enough Krishna Lila into your mind repeatedly, it begins to push out all the junk.
Yeah.
And then you get a really healthy psychology, healthy, like just on a practical level, but also like healthy in the deepest spiritual way. That you begin, we would say you're beginning to enter reality now, right? You're pushing out the illusion, and you're entering into what's eternal. And so when we hear these, again, they sound like children's stories, but these deep intellectual, brilliant philosophers and yogis, they understood that no, this is an incredibly rich literature. These aren't just childish stories, but these are, among so many things, they're also meditational content. This is where the yogis, they hear this repeatedly. They with a certain emotion, it becomes invested in the subconscious mind. And then once there's enough of that in there, you're just always drawing from that rich source and feeling a deep transformation. Ultimately, prema, ultimately divine love develops this way.
It's why we started a daily spiritual podcast. That's not daily anymore, but because we wanted to repeatedly change our thoughts by bringing in new thoughts on a regular basis. And that's how you build. That's how you build the mind muscles. Yep. Otherwise, your mind hears something good, and then you go back to the wheel goes back to the rut in the road, and the rut in the road is how the mind was trained to think from childhood, from the way we grow up, from the way our parents taught us, or school taught us, or impressionable people taught us. And some of us have to change that pattern of thinking, and we are as happy as our thoughts.
There you go.
And if our thoughts go to places, if we become black belts of anxiety, black belts of worry, fear, dread, harboring resentment, it goes right there. We go right back to these places that we've been holding on to. I mean, hey, you can resent somebody for 10 years, and you could just live there.
Yep.
And fantasize about how to, if I had that chance again, I would go back and I'd do it this way, and live in something that happened to you 20 years ago. It's like, come on, people.
Let it go.
So this is the chance to, it's a reprogramming of the consciousness. And I don't know, I don't call this pop psychology. I call this about rewiring the brain to have a positive.
Yeah. Resetting the algorithm.
Resetting the algorithm of the brain. Boom. There's your title for your show, buddy. Good night. That's my job.
Good night and good luck.
Good night, Glock. All right. Let's go to the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam.
This is all Bhagavatam.
It's Monday morning.
Okay.
Don't quabble with me.
We used to call it Makeover Monday.
We used to call this Makeover Monday. You know what? We can go back to that because it's Wear Your Merch Monday.
Yeah, then it became.
I was getting a little too commercial, I felt.
Okay.
Like Makeover Monday.
And now it's just We're Back Monday.
And now it's like, we had a long weekend, we're back Monday. Narayanam namaskrityannaram chaivanarottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatojayam mudirayat. Before we start in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord, Narayan. And to Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timurandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuram Vidatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 9, Text 1.
Yeah,
and the name of this chapter is Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna.
Raghunath, this is an important chapter, is it not? This in the next one.
Well, we read about how can everything, the entire universe, be within Krishna?
Little Krishna's mouth.
Little Krishna. So the universe is, when we think of the universe, it's like we say like a universal. It is like it's unending. The universe is unending, yet it's contained. So we're trying to understand this being, Krishna. And now, how do we catch the universe? This is what's going to reveal. How do you catch the universe? How do you catch the source of the universe? How do you catch the source that
what
contains
power?
the universe?
What power could get
What's
that
it going to take?
tied down?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of, these leelas of Krishna. India has been living off this stuff for millennia, hearing Krishna's leelas. And this is one of the most celebrated of them all, is pastime where Mother Yashoda binds Krishna. There's so much meaning to it on so many levels, from so many angles.
They've tried. You could even make it very complicated and break this down. And like, well, what this story means to tell is the actual scientific understanding. I've heard people put like a scientific spin on this. You don't have to. It's actually the science is actually quite simple. You catch everything in the universe. You understand the source of everything in the universe through love. Through love, because the universe itself. When we say, I pray to the universe. When we put the universe name in because we don't want to say God anymore, so we say the universe told me to do it. Well, you can understand the universe not through having some like in-depth scientific mind. That's not what's going to do it. That's not how to catch God. You catch God through love. And then God, because quote, the universe or God is an actual reciprocating force, energy, light, being.
Person.
Person.
Okay. Yeah, it's all.
I don't even say the universe anymore if I'm talking to people. I just say God.
Okay.
I think God is back in vogue. You can say it now.
Okay, and when you're older, you can get away with that kind of thing too, right? With the beard.
You know what? The white beard and mustache help.
It opens,
God.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, text 1 and 2. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued. One day when Mother Yashoda saw that all the maidservants were engaged in the other household affairs, she personally began to churn the yogurt. While churning, she remembered the childish activities of Krishna, and in her own way, she composed songs and enjoyed singing to herself about all those activities.
Okay, here you go. It's right off the bat. This verse actually uses the word Smarana. It says Smaranti. Let's see, where is it? Smaranti Tanyagayataha. That she's Smaranti, remembering all of Krishna's leelas by singing them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the spiritual realm, right? It's like she has this love in her heart, and it's best expressed through song. And the song itself is bringing her mind to Krishna naturally, right? And so she's engaged in this, it's the songs are invested with emotion and they're repeated. Mm-hmm. And, not that she needs to do this as a sadhana, but we do it following in her footsteps, right? Oh, then why don't we, if we want a consciousness like hers, then why don't we sing songs repeatedly about Krishna's pastimes? And then that'll create this natural memory in us, a natural meditation in us of Krishna's pastimes. Prabhupada, he says in the commentary here, this should be the practice of persons eager to remain Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. This incident shows how Krishna conscious Mother Yashoda was. To stay in Krishna consciousness, we should follow such persons. And that's like, in one sense, it's a simple statement, but I believe that Prabhupada is, he's alluding to something here, which is like the very esoteric side of bhakti, this Raganuga bhakti, where we, Rag Anuga, she's got the rag, she's got the natural attachment to thinking of Krishna. And Rag Anuga means you follow those people that have that rag. The Raganuga sadhana means oh, look at her and her consciousness. I want that, what she's got. I want to follow in her footsteps. And so, okay, then let's do sadhana like to follow. And that would be like, okay, sing songs about Krishna. You can follow such persons and develop this consciousness yourself.
Text 3. Dressed in a saffron yellow sari with a
Lovely.
belt tied about her full hips, Mother Yashoda pulled on the churning rope, laboring considerably. Her bangles and earrings moving and vibrating, and her whole body shaking because of her intense love for the child. Because of her intense love for her child, her breasts were wet with milk. Her face, with its very beautiful eyebrows, was wet with perspiration, and malati flowers were falling from her hair.
Okay, now
This dude's
this.
got very beautiful eyebrows too, doesn't he, Mara?
Thank you. I don't know if they quite compete with Mother Yashoda's.
Oh, maybe.
But,
You've got Yashoda-like eyebrows.
okay, but this verse, this is a guided meditation, right? The yogis meditate on this vision. The commentaries say that this, I believe Baladev Vidyabhushana's commentary says that this is provided for us to meditate on. This is the quality content right here, right?
Yes.
The picture of a lover of the divine, and see how it's manifested. Her motherly love is so deep that it's manifested in a body that is perfectly suited to express and feel motherly love. And we can, nowadays it's funny because this, although AI art I'm not very fond of, I have to admit that some of these videos that are coming out now they're interesting, right? Like you've seen some of these
Krishna Lila videos.
Krishna Lila AI videos, yes.
I think they're great. I think they're great.
Yeah, sometimes I love them. Sometimes they actually give you a vision of something that you've heard about so many times, and then suddenly you can see it.
Well, that's the Nrsingadev movie has done that too. Maha Avatar.
Yeah, although that's not AI, or I don't know, maybe AI it wasn't.
I don't know what AI actually means.
Okay. But why don't you read the commentary on this one, Raghunath?
On text 4?
Text 3.
Okay, text 3, okay. Alrighty. Anyone who desires to be Krishna conscious in motherly affection or parental affection should contemplate the bodily features of Mother Yashoda.
See, that's the Raganuga Bhakti, right? Like I would like when it's said that when one's bhakti is very developed, then naturally, without our having to, like sometimes we say, oh, I wonder, what would you like to be in the spiritual world? I'd like to be a cowherd boy. I'd like to be a gopi, And all of that can just be our personal preferences based on our current conditioning.
Sure. Like, I want to be a mother, so in the spiritual world, I want to be a mother.
Yeah, maybe like that.
Or I like being a mother.
I have sex desire,
up.
So I would like to be engaged sexually in the spiritual, or in whatever ways. Yeah. But at a certain point of evolution in one's bhakti, an attraction, not just for Krishna's Leela, but for specific Krishna Leela, will naturally rise in one without our even having to artificially try to impose it in our mind. And one will feel like, oh, the love that Mother Yashoda has, that parental love, you develop a certain attraction and a fascination, joy in that in particular. And so when Prabhupada says it like that, anyone who desires to be Krishna conscious in motherly affection or parental affection, then you're meant to contemplate these prototype devotees, the Vrajaloka, the residents of Vrindavan. You contemplate them. You contemplate, here it's saying, should contemplate the bodily features of Mother Yashoda. You meditate on that. You bring it into your mind. And then it can become your reality, through deep meditation on it. But please continue.
It is not that one should desire to become like Yashoda, for this is Mayavad, right? Either in parental affection or conjugal love, friendship, or servitorship in any way, we must follow in the footsteps of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, not try to become like them. Therefore, this description is provided here. Advanced devotees must cherish this description, always thinking of Mother Yashoda's features, how she was dressed, how she is working and perspiring, how beautifully the flowers were arranged in her hair, and so on. One should take advantage of the full description provided here by thinking of Mother Yashoda in maternal affection for Krishna. You want to explain the difference between one should contemplate the bodily features of Mother Yashoda, but
Or between what he was saying about don't try to
yeah,
become like them, but try to follow them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Explain the difference.
I
'Cause it can be
believe,
confusing.
yeah, well, I believe what Prabhupada is saying here is don't, in other words, he's speaking about something that will mean more to someone when they learn more about it. But those who are familiar with it are going to be picking up on what he's saying here. He's saying that there's a practice of bhakti wherein you meditate on the pastimes of Krishna's devotees in Vrindavan with the goal to develop a similar love. And that love is beyond what's called Vaidhi Bhakti, or the rules and the regulations that lead to a type of reverence for God. This is, I want to enter into a feelings of love for God where I've forgotten that he is God and I'm loving him the way that, in the intimate way that we're going to be reading about here in Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes. Now, I might approach that in an artificial way. I might say, I want to become a gopi.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me start to act like them. You know, like, oh, I'm going to put on a sari. And there are, you know, we see this being done. You know, there are people that take it that cheaply. And Prabhupada's saying, don't take this cheaply. Don't just act like them, but follow in them. You know, follow in their footsteps. So in other words, find out that essential part of their awareness or their meditation or their love, and under the direction of Guru and under the direction of these acharyas who have laid this out, practice this. You know, like our acharyas, like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and in following in his footsteps, Srila Prabhupada, they said, yes, we can develop this kind of love, but don't try to do it artificially. It's by chanting the name very deeply. You know, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that our Siddha Pranali, the path to this perfection for us is Trinadapi Sunichena Todori Vasuhishnana Amanena Manadena Kirtanaya Sadahari, that being very humble and very tolerant and showing all respect to others and expecting no respect for oneself, you can chant this name very deeply in that state of mind. And then this will arise in you not by hearing the Shastra, right? Regularly hearing and remembering Krishna's pastimes, singing the songs like she's singing. Like, for instance, obviously, you know, one is thinks of Damodarastika when we hear this, and maybe we can talk a bit about that. Then those feelings and that identity and that particular rasa, that particular flavor of love, that particular mood of love, whether it's this parental affection, whether it's the love of a friend, whether it's the romantic love, it will arise in you naturally. Don't artificially fake it. That'll get you nowhere. But try to follow, humbly follow in the footsteps, and it will become revealed naturally. But it's a beautiful verse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just this picture of it's a vision of a beautiful vision of motherly love, and it's kind of like the perfection of motherly love being manifest in the body of Yashoda.
Okay, moving on. While Mother Yashoda was churning butter, Lord Krishna, desiring to drink the milk of her breast, appeared before her, and in order to increase her transcendental pleasure, he caught hold of the churning rod and began to prevent her from churning. No more churning. Notice
Stop.
me. Krishna wants you to notice him. Meditate on that, Kaustubha. Meditate on that for a little bit.
That's beautiful.
Mother Yashoda then embraced Krishna, allowed him to sit on her lap, and began to look upon the face of the Lord with great love and affection. Because of her intense affection, milk was flowing from her breast. But when she saw the milk pan on the oven was boiling over, she immediately left her son to take care of the overflowing milk, although the child was not yet fully satisfied with drinking the milk of his mother's breast.
This is, this is where I remember once when we had Radhika Raman, Professor Ravi Gupta, we interviewed him.
Yes, I remember.
And I asked him, by not understanding Sanskrit, are we missing out a lot here when we read Bhagavatam? Or is it, the translation, covers it? And he said, I'm afraid to inform you, but if you don't know Sanskrit, you're missing out on so much. And like right now, in one sense, this is the perfection of all of Vyasadeva's writings, and it's becoming very poetic and beautiful. And I'm just looking at this like, Sneha snutam sasmitam ikshati mukham. It's and sneha means affection, but it also means oil, right? It's like
there are these subtleties to language you just don't get.
Yeah.
What to speak of coming from a particular culture. For example, one time I was in a hotel in Germany, and I turned on the TV and was watching The Simpsons in German. And it had subtitles, so you could see it in English. It didn't, they missed half the jokes.
Right.
Because you have to grow up in America to understand some of the jokes, because it was like American humor referring to American television from the 70s, referring to nuanced American words. So you get the storyline, but the subtleties are sometimes slightly missed.
Yeah. And so when we're getting to this, again, right now we're getting to the very pinnacle of yoga and manifesting in such a beautiful, loving scene. And it's saying that she's got this sneha snutam. Her affection is so deep. Her love for her son is like so intense that milk is flowing from her breasts. And I actually Googled this and I said, does this actually happen? Like just by the mind, can a mother's, start to flow with milk? And the answer was yes, it does happen.
Yeah.
Right. Like in other words, just through
that's a thing. That's a thing.
That's a thing.
A woman who doesn't even have a child can actually give milk.
Okay. All right. How much research have you done into this?
Oh, it's one of those things. It's one
spontaneous lactation. It's called, Amy's telling us.
Spontaneous lactation. Animals can do it too. Cows can do it.
All right. And so sneha snutam sasmitam ikshati mukham. Mukham is his face. Mother Yashoda was smiling and observing the smiling face of Krishna. Right in that moment is the perfection of yoga, is the perfection of existence. And but it's so varied. And so she's feeling that. She's feeling something, right? This isn't just like religion and surrender and go to heaven. No, it's what is that person feeling in perfection?
Spontaneous lactation is the perfection of yoga. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly. That's right.
I'm going to teach
At
that
least
in
in
my
her
next
case,
yoga class. Okay. Being angry and biting his reddish lip with his teeth, Krishna, with false tears in his eyes, broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone. Then he entered a room and began to eat the freshly churned butter in a solitary place.
So the Leela's going on here, right? Like she's got these multifarious Krishna Seva activities to do. And it's said in the commentaries to this, Raghunath, that we just read how Krishna was like causing problem, right? All the ladies in the neighborhood were complaining. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Lodging complaints. He's stealing butter in her house. He's stealing yogurt in her house. And Mother Yashoda's like, oh my God, what's with this boy? I need to get him, if I'm going to prevent him from doing this anymore, stealing yogurt from other places, I got to make like the best. And so there are certain cows that were eating like only the best grass,
Yeah.
And the idea was like when they would eat that grass, they would give like the most flavorful milk.
It was the sweetest grass. And And so she'd feed only the sweetest grass to all the cows. Then they'd milk that cow,
Yeah.
and they'd milk all those cows and take all of that milk and feed it to one of the cows. And
Oh,
it was
really?
like this, yeah. And
And so they're really getting the essence of the essence here.
sure. And we know that, like, if you eat, if the mother eats onions or something, the flavor of the milk changes.
How much do you know about the flavor
Of
human
lactation of
milk?
women?
Yeah.
Oh, I know, because I lived in a farm
Okay.
for a while, and I know whatever sometimes there's wild scallions growing, and that affects the
yeah.
taste of the milk.
There you go. And so her plan, she had this whole plan, and so now she's breastfeeding Krishna, but that special milk that she's worked so hard to procure for Krishna's pleasure is starting to boil over on the stove.
You
And so
see, I'm a part-time lactation specialist. I didn't tell you that. It's part of my bio.
there are lactation specialists out there.
I know there are.
Yeah, and so you're part-time one.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's put him down to go save that milk for his pleasure, but he's become upset. Right? Why did you put me down?
Yeah.
And now he's causing trouble.
Now he's gonna have a little baby tantrum.
Okay.
Alrighty. Text.
7.
Yeah, I read it. Mother Yashoda, after taking down the hot milk from the oven, returned to the churning spot. And when she saw the container of yogurt was broken and that Krishna was not present,
Yeah.
she concluded that breaking of the pot was the work of Krishna.
She put it all together.
I get it. This kid's being naughty.
Prabhupada writes his commentary. He says, seeing the pot broken and Krishna not present, Yashoda definitely concluded that the breaking of the pot was the work of Krishna. There was no doubt about it. All right.
Krishna at that time was sitting on an upside-down wooden mortar for grinding spices and was distributing milk preparations such as yogurt and butter to the monkeys as he liked. Because of having stolen, he was looking all around with great anxiety, suspecting that he might be chastised by his mother. Mother Yashoda, upon seeing him, very cautiously approached him from behind. So here you have a naughty kid doing something naughty. He knows it's naughty.
Yeah.
And so he's looking around sort of anxiously, and the mother is sneaking up. I'm going to get you, kid.
Yeah. Now, it said, Prabhupada writes in the commentary, Mother Yashoda was able to trace Krishna. How?
By his butter-smeared footprints.
That's exactly right. By his butter. There's butter footprints all over the place. And so she saw that Krishna was stealing butter, and thus she smiled. Meanwhile, the crows entered the room and came out in fear. Thus Mother Yashoda found Krishna stealing butter and very anxiously looking here and there. So this is kind of adorable,
The
They're
crows were
extremely adorable.
Okay.
Yeah, crows. I don't know.
I
how
never heard that.
got brought it almost sounds like that was like a
Like a commentary that Prabhupada
or that to me,
referred to.
or maybe it was misheard on the
The
you know,
crows.
what do they call it? The way that he recorded the
Yeah, Prabhupada
dictaphone?
recorded on a dictaphone, and then translators would listen back, and if they sometimes got it wrong.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Crows. Maybe he's feeding crows.
I know. Let's face it. There's a bunch of food out. A bunch of birds are going to land too.
That's true.
When Lord Sri Krishna saw his mother stick in hand, she had a little stick.
Yeah.
He very quickly got down from the top of the mortar and began to flee as if very much afraid. Although yogis tried to capture him as the Paramatma by meditation, right? Here's where we're going originally with this idea. The yogis try to capture God sitting in meditation within the core of their heart, right?
Yeah.
Desire, and what do? They try to enter into the effulgence of the Lord with great austerities and penance, right? You start to stop eating, minimize, regulate your breathing, sit in a solitary place without, sometimes there's meditational practice. You have to sit here in meditation. You cannot move from this spot.
Yep.
If you move from the spot, we whack you with a stick. You ever heard of those
can't budge.
meditation teachers like
Yeah,
that?
you
You can't budge. You're
book on
supposed
your
to just
head.
tolerate, and you're supposed to go within your senses to find some light, to find some truth, to find some connection. So they're saying this is what yogis try to do by meditating on the Paramatma, by desire to enter the light through great austerities and penances. but still they fail to reach him. I did my 10-day, what is that called? The
Challenge?
Mona Vrata. No, what do they call that? Mona Vrata. I did my 10-day Vipassana, and I still didn't capture the light. I still didn't,
That's
you
right.
know. I mean,
You
you
know-
learn a lot. Even any austerity, you get some benefit, right? Even the austerity of, mowing the lawn with the push mower, you get some benefit from doing some work. What to speak of work on your trying to control your senses and your mind, sitting in one place, focusing your mind, holding the mind's attention. You get some benefit. But do you actually get the goal of that? So the goal for the yogis was to merge with that bright light. He's saying still you do all these austerities, still they don't get it. But Mother Yashoda, thinking that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, to be her son, began following Krishna to catch him.
Okay. I think this verse is so important. Let's start here again tomorrow. Let's pick it up here tomorrow.
Yeah, I can see already. I just want to read the first line of the purport. Yogis, mystics want to catch Krishna as the super soul. And with great austerities and penances, they try to approach him, yet they cannot. Cliffhanger!
Okay.
Ready for some takeaways?
Yes, Margie.
Yeah, Mara.
All right.
How are you doing, Mara?
I think I know the and today because there's a really.
Hey,
that is a good
Mara.
one.
How are you? How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Mara did a lot of stuff this weekend,
What?
as well as taking care of Grandma. Appreciate you. Did a lot of cooking.
What's going on inside your head is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a great one. What's going on inside your head is everything.
Everything.
Usually I say, what's inside your head is nothing. It's everything.
Your thoughts shape your reality.
They do.
For sure.
Mental junk food is feeding our anxiety and depression.
Oh man.
Mental junk food. This is big stuff, Mara.
Train your mind and nourish your thoughts.
Train your... I love that.
Nourish the thoughts.
I love that. I love you.
What you meditate on, you become.
Yeah.
Careful.
You understand the entire universe through love.
Oh yeah.
Humbly follow in the footsteps of Mother Yashoda.
And the
Humbly-
butter footprints of Krishna.
Yeah,
Humbly follow the butter... Yes.
butter
Butter
smeared footprints.
Yeah.
Uh,
On the rug.
not on the rug.
Not on the rug, Krishna. Come on.
Be eager for Krishna consciousness 24 hours a day.
Okay.
Eager.
And
And.
Raghunath, part-time lactation specialist.
That was what you were thinking. Thanks, everybody.
Is that or
What was the other one?
spontaneous lactation is the goal of yoga?
I think
That was it. That was the one I was
That was
thinking of.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us, and thanks, we're back, and we're back tomorrow, 7 a.m. See you then. Wisdom of the Sages Retreat is coming up. Join me, Mara and Kaustubha, and Grandma Terry for our Wisdom of the Sages Retreat at Super Soul Farm. Go to wisdomofthesages.com. Thanks, everybody, for being supporting members. It really makes a difference to keep this thing going. And remember, we have a Wisdom of the Sages Retreat happening in India the second week of January 11th, actually. It starts on my birthday.